Hand protection. Potential hazards for hands: skin absorption of hazardous substances, lacerations or severe cuts, punctures, chemical burns, thermal burns, and extreme temperatures. Types of gloves: anti-vibration, chemical resistant, leather palm, permeation resistant, heat resistant, cut resistant. Foot and leg protection. Causes of foot injuries: falling or rolling of heavy objects, crushing or penetrating materials, sharp objects that can penetrate the sole, exposure to molten metal, working on or around hot, wet, or slippery surfaces, working when electrical hazards are present. Conditions requiring foot protection: impacts, compressions, cuts or punctures, chemicals, temperatures. Examples of foot and leg protection: impact-resistant toe and or instep, steel or composite, heat-resistant soles, metal shanks. Specialty footwear may be needed. Metatarsal guards, liquid or chemical resistant, conductive or non-conductive. Protective footwear must comply with any of the following consensus standards: ANSI Z41.1 1991, American National Standard for Personal Protection, Protective Footwear, ASTM F 2412 2005, Standard Test Methods for Foot Protection, ASTM F 2413 2005, Standard Specification for Performance Requirements for Protective Footwear. Protection from hazards. Shoes with metal toe cap protects against knocks and falling objects. Rubber shoes protect against chemical materials as directed by the SDS. Body protection. Protective clothing. Provide protective clothing for those parts of the body exposed to possible injuries. Types of body protection: laboratory coats, coveralls, vests, jackets, aprons, surgical gowns, full body suits. Selection of body protection based on a variety of materials effective against particular hazards. Paper-like fiber protects against dust and splashes. Treated wool and cotton protects against fire, dust, abrasions, and rough and irritating surfaces. Duck protects against cuts and bruises. Leather protects against dry heat and flames. Rubber, rubberized fabrics, neoprene, and plastics protect against certain chemicals and physical hazards. Protective clothing is required for HAZWOPA activities. EPA's levels of PPE. Level A provides highest level of protection required when greatest potential for exposure exists and greatest level of skin, respiratory, and eye protection is required. Examples: positive pressure full face piece SCBA or positive pressure supplied air respirator with escape SCBA. Totally encapsulated chemical and vapor protective suit. Inner and outer chemical resistant gloves. Disposable protective suit, gloves, and boots. Level B. Required for highest level of respiratory protection and lesser level of skin protection. Examples: positive pressure full face piece SCBA or positive pressure supplied air respirator with escape SCBA. Inner and outer chemical resistant gloves. Face shield, hooded chemical resistant clothing. Coveralls, outer chemical resistant boots. Level C. required when concentration and type of airborne substances are known and criteria for using APR is met. Examples: full-face air purifying respirators, inner and outer chemical-resistant gloves, hard hat, escape mask, disposable chemical-resistant outer boots. Level D. Required when minimum protection is needed. Sufficient when no contaminants are present or work operations preclude splashes, immersion, or for unexpected inhalation or contact. Examples: gloves, coveralls, safety glasses, face shield, chemical-resistant steel-toe boots or shoes. Training. Training requirements. Each employee who is required to use PPE must be trained to know when PPE is necessary, what PPE is necessary, how to properly put on, take off, adjust and wear the PPE, the limitation of the PPE, proper care, maintenance, useful life and disposal of PPE. Responsibilities. The employer is required to perform hazard assessment, provide appropriate PPE, train employees, maintain or replace PPE, review, update, evaluate PPE program. The employer is required to pay for PPE used to comply with OSHA standards. Examples: metatarsal foot protection, rubber boots with steel toes, non-prescription eye protection, prescription eyewear inserts or lenses for full-face respirators, goggles and face shields, firefighting PPE, hard hats, hearing protection, welding PPE. Employer payment exemptions. Employers are exempted from the following: non-specialty safety toe protective footwear and non-specialty prescription safety eyewear, everyday clothing, ordinary clothing, skin creams or other items used solely for protection from weather, consumer safety items worn by food workers, lifting belts, when an employee lost or intentionally damaged PPE. Responsibilities of the employee. The employee is required to properly wear PPE, to attend PPE training, to care for, clean and maintain PPE, to inform supervisor of needs for repair or replacement. Knowledge check. 1. Common causes of foot injuries include crushing, penetration, molten metal, chemicals, slippery surfaces, and sharp objects. A. True or B. False? The answer is A. True. Number 2. Who is responsible for providing PPE needed to comply with OSHA standards? A. The employee. B. OSHA. C. The employer. D. Workers' compensation. The answer is C. The employer. Number 3. Hazard controls must be addressed in which order of priority? A. Substitution, PPE, workaround, and administrative. B. Workaround, stop work, PPE, and engineering. C. Stop work, PPE, engineering, and substitution. D. Substitution, engineering, administrative, and PPE. The correct answer is D. Substitution, engineering, administrative, and PPE. Number 4. Which type of hard hat would provide the most protection from electrical hazards? A. Class A. B. Class C. C. Class E. Or D. Class G? The correct answer is C, Class E. Number 5. Hearing protection is required when noise levels exceed OSHA's PEL of how many decibels as a TWA? A. 80, B. 90, C. 100, D. 110. The correct answer is B. 90 decibels. Number 6. Who is responsible for providing specialized work footwear? A. Insurance companies, B. The employee, C. OSHA, D. The employer. The correct answer is D. The employer. Number 7. Which of the following is considered approved eye protection? A. Sunglasses, B. Prescription glasses, C. Reading glasses, D. Glasses meeting ANSI standard Z87. The correct answer is D. Glasses meeting ANSI standard Z87. Number 8. Which of the following is not considered PPE? A. Rubber gloves, B. Glasses meeting ANSI standard Z87, C. Sports shoes, D. Hearing muffs. The correct answer is C. Sports shoes. And that brings us to the end of this part of your training. Thank you for listening.